Okay, folks, we are back once again with Erika Brown. She's the publisher and editor of The Cricket, coming to us from her office in Manchester by the Sea. There's a lot going on, Erika, but first of all, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm great. I'm representing part of the
I can
Cricket's
see that.
coverage. Yep, here we go. Yeah. All right. So obviously, there's been lots of things going on within the Manchester-Essex Regional School District. Um, we have a bit of a breaking story here.
It is a bit of a breaking story, and it's interesting because I went to the school committee meeting this week, or last week, actually, last Tuesday. There's another one this week, actually tomorrow. It's really important, and it's all tied in together. I went there because it was the first kind of early look at the budget. And the day before the meeting, I was told that Avi Urbis, who is the director of finance for the school district, the Manchester-Essex Regional School District, for the last 15 years. So Avi Urbis, for those who don't know, he's kind of a key kind of tip of the spear paired with Pam Bodwin, who is the superintendent of schools. The two of them are in lockstep, and their jobs are intricately linked because he's the director of finance, and so much of the district and her role is about the budget and about managing the budget and about the system and managing both towns and these sort of different needs, these different ideas about the public education school system and what it would be in Essex and Manchester. So it's been a high pressure role, high pressure job. And the day before, and I'll tell you, I went to the meeting thinking, oh, I'm going to cover the budget. The day of the meeting or the day before, I heard that Avi Urbis was leaving. He had given in his notice. So I went to the meeting thinking, well, I'm going to, I'm going to reach out to Avi. I'm going to say, okay, I'd like to cover you and do a really nice piece on you before you leave. Also to say I was really sorry to see him go, because he's definitely, I'll tell you about like why he's really has been a real, just an asset to the district. But I thought I was going to do a piece on the $30 million budget for next year, because it's going to be a big, not a dogfight, but it's going to be a struggle, and it's going to be a challenge to actually get to a budget that is productive and works for both towns and also works for the school district. And that's really going to come out by March or April. So we're at the beginning, right? And actually I was surprised because the budget was coming out a little early this year. Usually comes out, the first version comes out a little deeper into December, right? So here's why it was going to come out early, because Avi was leaving that day. I arrived at the school district, the school committee meeting. And first of all, his last day was last Tuesday. So the day I found out about it was the day. So he clearly is like, didn't want any fanfare and was just kind of like out of there. I show up to the meeting and there is literally 2 rows of people that was a who's who of the school committee for the regional school district of the last 20 years. You had Annie Cameron, you had, Susan Coviello was there. She was a chairman back at the beginning of regionalization. Annie Cameron was there, same thing, she's from Essex. Ben Buttrick was there, the finance committee over in Essex, and the finance committee member over in Essex was very colorful with the school district a couple of years ago when they publicly surprised everyone at a town meeting and said that they would not support the school budget, the district budget. It was a huge deal to surprise somebody at the annual town meeting. And then there was also Susan Beckman was there. She was on the school committee before regionalization. So it was like a who's who of school district people and school and town folks, town committee folks. They were all there to say goodbye to Avi. So here's Avi Urbis. I will tell you this, from my watching of him work in the last 5 years, super steady, super rational. He will take often heated discussions and just sort of, he's the calmer waters, but he also absorbs a lot. Because do you remember when Barack Obama, they showed the picture of him, or Bill Clinton, the picture of him the first year in office and then the last year in office, and it was yeah, they go in looking like boyish and they leave looking like little old men. That's Avi Urbis, and I hate to say it that way, but that's absolutely true. If you were to look up a picture of him online and look for an image search of Avi Urbis, you would see a picture of Avi looking almost like a boy. because that was him before he took on the Manchester-Essex Regional School District finances. So in any case,
Well, now, Erica, now he'll
everyone,
get to turn back the clock now,
we
now
have to
that he's
turn back the
out.
clock.
Yeah.
Yes. So everybody got up one by one. Ben Buttrick from the Finance Committee said, you have been an ideal partner. I mean, effusive. Everyone said, he's amazing. He's this, he's that. It's going to be a big loss because here's one of his highlights. I mean, he's handled these budgets in a really challenges and dealing with these towns. And that's sort of that steady kind of thing was great. But also think about it. He oversaw, along with a very competent team, but let me tell you, he was the only financial guy who had to go through the financial kind of game of twister for that it's required with like these state grants and federal, I think like craziness for the $53 million Memorial School project, which was 8 years. He did that. And guess what? That project came in 2022, I think it was, or 2021,
Yep.
came in early and under budget. How many
No
people
easy
could say
task.
that? I mean, it's a real, statement about, first of all, that building committee. Yes, but he was a very, very, very key part of that. So it's going to be a big loss. As Pam Bodwin said in the meeting, these very, very big shoes to fill. And I guess they already have a candidate, a kind of a finalist candidate, because they've been looking for the last couple of weeks, kind of quietly on the DL. And apparently they're going to be putting in an offer to them this week. So goodbye to Avi Urbis. Thank you to Avi Urbis. He is gone now, although in true fashion, he's actually going to, and this previews this week, the next school committee meeting is actually on Tuesday. It's tomorrow, and it's the first public hearing of that budget. So the first budget will be talked to, and guess who's going to be there to support it, even though he's not working for the district anymore? Avi Urbis. So if anybody wanted to say goodbye or thank you, that's a really good time for you to do it. Not that that's what the meeting's about, but that's definitely going to be going on. Yeah. And then the budget we can talk about. We're going to have plenty of time to talk about the budget. They presented the first round budget, what's called the tentative budget, which is the starting point. So it's really not worth your energy to kind of get all worked up about it. But they were very sensitive. They put through a three branch budget, 3 options. The middle option is sort of level services, and I think it's up 3.4% or something like that. They're shooting for something between 3 and 3.5. It would be ideal. Essex has asked for 2.5 for that to avoid the override. And then they had a top one too. So it's kind of like negotiation 101, where you go in with 3 options, the high, the low, and the middle, and you're hoping for the middle. But it's the beginning of 4 months of talking and working. And so, and alas, it will not include Avi Urbis this year. And by the way, he's going off to the private sector, where he's going to get, I don't know anything, but I guarantee he's going to get paid a lot more money. He's not going to have to work at night and sort of just aggravating, these like kind of high pressure anxiety breakout moments. And he and Pam Bodwin have been sort of frick and frack for a very long time. Pam actually came the year after he arrived. So the two of them have really been in lockstep. So she's going to have to be working kind of solo, flying solo. I mean, not that that's a problem, of course. She's the superintendent and she's incredibly, but still, I think she's gonna have to kind of work with another style of person, and we'll see what that is. But in any case, he's off to the private sector, which is where he came from the beginning. So great guy. Thank you, Avi.
There you go. Okay, great stuff. Erika, we're also in the height of the holiday craze right now, and the focus is keeping it local.
I think so. I agree. I mean, yeah. I mean, Christmas by the Sea was a couple weeks back in Manchester, and it was rainy and cold and sleety and yucky. It's just gross. A lot of people showed up and came out like for the, Jingle Bell Walk and Santa and all that other stuff, and it's been great. But the truth is that sales for local retailers are kind of off because of that. And what people don't remember, and this is everywhere, Rockport, Gloucester, Essex, Manchester, Ipswich, Beverly Farms, Magnolia, even though it's technically Gloucester, I like to call it out. But those retailers, they depend on the holiday sales, I don't know from the pie chart, because it depends on business to business, but I think some of them make maybe 40% of their sales during this time of year.
I wouldn't
And
be
so it's
surprised.
really important. I mean, I don't know. Have you been hearing things if things are,
Yeah, I mean, I think well, the tricky part for a lot of retailers this year was every weekend was rainy through the summer and, and through tourism season. And so I think they were really sort of hedging their bets on a big holiday push. So I know their fingers are kind of crossed that, and so far, Festival by the Sea, weather
yeah,
was a little dicey, but now we're hoping December's all right, for
yes.
to get people out and about walking around. As we're recording this, it's ladies' night, at least in downtown Gloucester. That's their biggest
Oh,
retail
yes.
night of the year.
That's Main Street, right? That's the
Yes.
Main
Yeah,
Street
up and down, through down. Yep,
group. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. And
So
they have
yeah,
a
it's
men's night too. Yeah. Or the men's night is coming.
men's night is comes closer to Christmas Eve,
Yes.
obviously. It's like it's always the last minute thing. It should just be Christmas Eve, right, right
Exactly.
around 6 p.m. Yeah, yeah, or yeah.
No, but I think that's exactly right. And those kinds of things. Like I was talking to somebody and I thought, you know what we should do? We should do a campaign where we challenge everybody on Cape Ann, one person, one gift that's local. Just
Hmm.
set the bar low. If every single person who is a resident of Cape Ann shopped at a local place for just one of their gifts, I think it would make a difference.
I
And by the way,
absolutely
you go
agree.
in there to buy one gift and hopefully you'll buy more. But I think that was like a big thing. We did a big kind of, as a service, a half-page ad for all of the downtown retailers in Manchester to get started. And that it's funny, the headline that I had written was, and I got it actually from a friend of mine who owns a store, shopping local makes you sexy.
And that'll work.
Right?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'll get their attention, right? Exactly, that'll work. People go like, what? And then they'll read it. And then Paul Clark, our assistant editor, I was showing it to him, and he was looking over my shoulder and he going, sexy, really? And I was like, come on, it's funny, you know? And he was so smart. He goes, how about merry? Local shopping makes you merry, which of course has the alliteration. And so that was the big headline. It was a really cute thing. But it really just got me thinking about how we should really be pushing this. We should do this next year. This should be a big push. But in the meantime, I want to challenge everybody. Every person should try to just buy one gift, even if it's small, at a local place. Because
Yeah,
the
it's a great
service is
idea.
better. They depend on it. And by the way, you get really good suggestions for last minute gifts. So
Yeah.
I think it's,
And the
yeah.
other cool thing that happens locally too, all the vending events, all the artisans and crafters and school fairs and all that go on. There's almost every night you can go to multiple places and shop local there as well. So great stuff too.
Absolutely.
Awesome,
So
awesome, Erica. So, is there anything we're looking forward to here? I mean, there must be a ton of stuff going on in the area leading through Hanukkah and Christmas.
I feel like there's something, as you said, like every night.
Yeah.
Honestly, like it's next week. I'll probably tell you about it, but we're going to go to I'm thinking about the Masonic, holiday dinner is day after tomorrow, and like all that stuff. And like you said, every night there's something going on, which I love. But yeah, so that's kind of stuff I'm looking forward to.
I'm sure I'll see you out and about. Thanks for the time.
Okay.
Interested in a sponsorship? Email sponsor@1623studios.org to learn more.